I'm at the top of the heap in this profession and getting paid for it, by the way. And by the way, my popularity is more than anybody you got on your team outside of Zion Williamson. Again, not throwing any shade on the players, just giving you facts. Why am I bringing all of these things up, New Orleans Pelicans? Because you can't about you. We are approaching the tail end of the season.
Stephen A. Smith is at it again, man. This dude is a pompous jerk, man. And, you know, for years, Stephen A. Smith has been in the broadcasting game. I remember he was a beat writer down here in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia Daily News for many years. We know that he comes from Queens, New York. He says a lot of sellout, sandboys, things where the black community doesn't like him that much, right? Well, not really at all, but he doesn't care. And, right, you know, nowadays he's known for his takes that's about him, not the sports takes. He makes everything about him, and he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, right? Now he wants to get into politics. He has the Democratic Party. They're coming after him for the comments he made about Jasmine Crockett. A lot of people on the radical right don't respect him because they think that he's ignorant, don't know what he's talking about, and they use him as a tool. But ESPN loves him because of the takes that he has on ESPN and First Take. For many years, he's been #1. Right? He's been #1 in First Take. Right now, he's going at it with the New Orleans Pelicans organization and owners for his takes that he said about Zion Williamson. A lot of the players dislike him very much, right? But now the Speakeasy podcast with Acho, what's the brother, Hootsmanzada, and Shady McCoy and all of them, you know, they've been getting at him. And one of the other hosts on there, Care Bear, right? The funny light-skinned dude that everybody likes to talk about. Care Bear gave his take on Stephen A. Smith, and they really lit into Stephen A. Smith by saying this.
Stephen A. Smith, he's the classic example, and it's no fault of his own, of getting famous way too late in life and getting rich way too late in life. Because now Stephen A. Smith, I feel like, is trying to live out his 20-year-old dreams as a 58-year-old. Whether it's the overly exhaustive pictures getting on the private jet, whether it's the stadium entrances, like, why are we consistently, it's one thing if you got to read somebody they Miranda rights on occasion, consistently talking about how much money you make and consistently talking about being at the top of your profession. Like, Stephen A. has main character syndrome to the highest degree. Now, to Stephen A.'s credit, Stephen A. is at the top of the profession. First Take is killing every other show, including my former show, at the same time slot. So I know just how talented Stephen A. is firsthand. But there comes a point where it's like, bro, your job is to report on the athletes, report on the news. Your job is not to be the news. And that's my only thing with Stephen A. is, like, he's consistently become the story as opposed to covering the story. And back in the day, he used to just cover the story. And now every day he's become the story. So that was my issue with it. He could have given that whole take without giving that portion of the take.
Now, that was Acho, right, you know, explaining what his feelings about Stephen A. Smith and what he felt as though Stephen A. Smith should do. Now, you know Stephen A. Smith, he's a jerk, right? And if there's a W man that voices their displeasure towards Stephen A., you watch how he handles it. But whenever it's somebody that looks like him or his own people, man, he has no problem denigrating, talking down. I'm better than you. I'm way up here. This is how much money I make, right? It's all about him. Y'all don't believe me? Look at this fool.
I'm at the top of the heap in this profession and getting paid for it, by the way. And by the way, my popularity is more than anybody you got on your team outside of Zion Williamson. Again, not throwing any shade on the players, just giving you facts. Why am I bringing all of these things up, New Orleans Pelicans? Because you can't about you. We are approaching the tail end of the season. We are in the month of March. Nearly 65 games have been played, and you're still searching for your 20th victory. Y'all are horrible. You've been horrible. Not the city with those wonderful fans, not the city with those wonderful restaurants, not the city with those wonderful people, just the organization that refuses to represent them the way that they should be represented, because y'all have been trash. That is the reality of the situation. Where am I getting this from? Allow me to count the ways. You got your research, I got mine. Worth about $3.55 billion right now. That ranks 29th out of 30 teams in the NBA. The only team valued to be less than y'all, at least according to Forbes magazine, is the Memphis Grizzlies, okay? That's number one. Let's go to your stuff on the basketball court. This is your 24th year in the NBA. You used to be the Hornets. Now you're the Pelicans. That's 2 nicknames. That's how many playoff series victories you have in your career in the National Basketball Association. 2 in 24 years. Damn. I'm not finished. Regular season ranks 23rd of 30 NBA teams since 2002, 2003. In the month of February, not March, not April, in the month of February, just this past month, you clinched your 15th losing season in 24 years. In 24 years, you've had one season of winning 50 or more games. One. That's it. I'm not finished. 9 playoff berths in 24 years. 2 playoff series victories, just as many as you have nicknames. You've never been to a conference finals in the franchise's history. That means you've never been to an NBA finals in the franchise history. In 24 years, only 5 teams have never been to an NBA finals. The Clippers, the Timberwolves, the Hornets, the Grizzlies, and you. In that same span, conference finals, only the Hornets and you have never been to a conference finals. But you got the time to clap back at me. Well, if you're going to do that, at least tell America why. It's the only thing that can make you relevant. You and your social media department felt the need to come back at me and clap back at me because you want to make a statement. You want notoriety. You want publicity. You want to be noticed. Damn it, half the world forgets you have a basketball team. That's how bad y'all have been. Now, you're on the come up because Joe Dumars a winner. And he's going to find a way to turn this damn thing around. And Zion Williamson, a brother's rooting for you. This is not directed towards you. Trey Murphy, Sadiq Bey, none of y'all towards the players. I'm talking strictly to your social media department and their pathetic asses. Could you find a basketball reason to be relevant? Could you find a basketball reason to remind us why you should exist? Could you find a basketball reason to remind us why we should care? Could you find a basketball reason to justify charging patrons in the city of New Orleans who you should be giving refunds to because of the product that y'all have put on the floor the last couple of years? Last 8 years, you've been in the playoffs twice. You've been bounced out in the first round each time. But
now that's Stephen A. Smith talking his talk as usual, running his mouth as he usually does. And he's able to get away with it because he's Stephen A. Smith. And like he said, he goes out of his way to make his bosses money, right? The W-man money. Now, the brother Care Bear that's on the show, the Speakeasy podcast, I actually like that show, right? That show to me is real funny. They got the 2 guys on, you have Acho, you have Shady McCoy, you have TJ Houshmandzadeh, but then you have Care Bear and the other light-skinned guy on the side, man. Those young guys, man, they're funny. And, they bring a lot of excitement to the show, and they bring the younger generation also into the show. I like that, man. Sometimes I switch off a nightcap and I turn on the Speakeasy, and, I actually relate and like that show a little bit more. But Care Bear, he really lit into Stephen A. Smith, and he said this.
Can I jump in here, bro?
Please do.
As a dude at 58 years old who always dreamed of playing in the NBA, to sit there after talking about the athletes for 20, 30, 40 years, however long, and then just be like, well, I'm more popular than y'all. Bro, you're lame. You're genuinely a cornball for that. I'm not here to discredit Stephen A. for what he's done in his career. I'm in this business because of Stephen A. Smith. But all that I have seen since becoming a sports reporter, analyst, whatever you want to call what I do, all I have seen from this man is be an absolute embarrassment. I'm ashamed to say that he's the one that inspired me to get into this business. He is an absolute cornball. You're lame. You don't have any sort of, it's ridiculous the amount of ego you have. And it's really quite discouraging. It's kind of disgraceful for anyone that looks up to anyone in this business, especially as a black man. I've met you, and it was one of the worst experiences that I've ever had in this entire business. I'm dead serious. Yeah. Stephen A. Smith, you continue to be an embarrassment. You think that you are the story continuously, over and over and over again. You sit there and you you jest about players and athletes, knowing good and damn well you wanted to be that. And you make it personal. Like you said, that's the thing that's the worst part about it. I can sit here, I can say a dude didn't play well, but also at the same time, I can sit there, put my ego aside and say, dude, I always wished I could play in the NFL. I'll never do it. But I honestly always wish that I could. There's a level of respect that you're supposed to have for the players that you made your career covering. Have fun in politics, bro, because I don't want to hear what else you got to say. That's all I got to say about Stephen A. Smith, bro.
You should have just dropped the mic. Bow.
Bro, I'm dead serious. I'm embarrassed that he's a dude that I was inspired by. I'm embarrassed.
Damn. Why? What changed in your mind?
Bro,
That's real.
It was fun whenever it was I'm giving passionate takes and I'm showing emotion and I'm maybe even sticking on one side. I'm cool being like poking at Philadelphia fans the same way that he pokes at Dallas Cowboys fans. That's cool. That's being a fan. That's being awesome, right? I mean, that's awesome. What he does now is embarrassing. I got this video right here. Walking in to stadiums as if you're the main character, doing stuff like this, like just everybody's looking out for you. And look, obviously there is a post about him. I'm not saying that he's not a superstar. He is. He's gone to where he's gotten. He's gotten to where he's at now simply because of how talented he is. I'm not here to discredit him for that. He is a very talented, hardworking individual. But at this point, bro, the ego the dude has on him, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to say that I'm bigger and more popular than anybody on the New Orleans Pelicans. Bro, shut up. Shut up. You're a 58-year-old having a popularity contest with 19, 20, 21-year-olds who are living out a dream that you can never accomplish. You're in ball. I'm sorry, bro. That's all I got to say.
Hey, man, so there you have it, man. Like, people are getting tired of Stephen A. Smith, man, and they starting to lash out. They starting to really come after Stephen A., man, and let him know. So now the floodgates is open because everybody across social media and the podcast spaces is going to see this. And they're going to come for Stephen A. Smith, man. They definitely going to come for Stephen A. Smith because people are tired of this pompous jerk and his attitude, man. But y'all got to let me know what y'all think. Do you think the Care Bear went too far? Do you think the Care Bear was speaking over his head? He was outside of his pay grade? What do you think? Or do you support Care Bear and what he did? Y'all let me know what y'all think. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.